welcome to the I Feel Like Crap workout. I actually nearly didn't film this today because I really felt like crap, and then I remembered what the title of the session is meant to be about. It's meant to be on the days where you don't feel that good, but you want to get a little bit of movement in. Maybe you're in your pyjamas. I thought I'd join you in pyjamas today. So basically, we can do a little bit of moving around, hopefully either getting you feeling a little bit better after a bit of a rough day, or at least not any worse, and you can go away with the satisfaction of knowing that you did something for yourself today, which is certainly my aim. And the only thing that you're going to need today is a wall, which is what we're going to be starting with. So, without further ado, take both hands onto your wall at about chest height. Notice how I'm leaning into the wall a little bit, and what I'm going to do here is just soften through my knees. So I'm going to bend a little bit through my knees, push my bum back behind me so that my chest comes down towards the floor, and then come back up. So we're just going to do a few of those. You may find you have to adjust a little bit, maybe bend your knees a little bit more. If the stretch feeling down the back of your legs feels a little bit too intense, can bend those knees a little bit more. You want to feel like the chest can push through your arms, so you're not kind of rounding your back. I'm open, really sticking my chest out basically towards the floor. Let's go for one more time. And then from there, I want you to basically just take one hand a little bit higher than the other and then keep going. So sitting back and coming up. And you're going to find that you can feel it probably in the arm that's a little bit higher than the other. And then after this one, we're going to swap arms. I'm starting to understand why people don't normally do this in pyjamas, because my my mouth, every time I try and talk to you on the way down, is kind of just going into my top. It's like, oh, this is why people wear sensible active wear. Go, last one here. And then relax there. So I just love that one. If I've had like a bit of a rough day, my shoulders feel quite tight, these are all like my favourite go-tos. So the next one is similar, but this time we're going to take our elbows onto the wall. So again, kind of about chest height. I'm going to sit my bum back, sink my chest down between my arms, and then come back up. Now if that feels awkward and if it's just not working for you, that's fine. You can always just keep your hands on the wall like we were doing before, as it's a little bit more range for the shoulders. So don't worry about it. So we sit down and come back up. Let's go one more time, then we're going to start adding to this. And then come back up. Right, wait while she tries to read her own handwriting. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so we're going to come under, and then what I want you to do is take one arm and just reach across underneath you and then come back up. So I'm going to come into my stretch and then take an arm underneath my body and then come back up. Remember, if you need to, if it feels a little bit tough, we can do the same thing with the hands on the wall rather than the elbows. That's fine. Let's do one more going the other way. And then staying here, we've got one more on the wall. So hands or elbows, sitting back, coming on up. And then once I'm here, I'm going to reach up and across my hand that stays on the wall. So I end up in this kind of position, so I get a little bit of an opening down through my side. So let's do a few of those. So I sit back, come on up, reach up and across my other arm. I'm pushing into the wall there, and go again. Come on up. This pyjama top is very quickly becoming a crop top. Let's go for 2 more. Remember, elbows all staying on the hands is fine, so I can do my last one here just to remind you. Coming down and coming up and over. All right, moving on to one of my other favourite kind of movements if my shoulders are just feeling a bit, rough. So what we're going to do, hand on the wall, bit of fluff there, great. Fingers facing the ceiling to begin with. I'm going to step forward with that same leg as the hand that's on the wall and then just bring it back. So as I step forward, I feel a stretch, maybe through the shoulder, maybe down the arm, and then I pull back with my hand so that that stretch in my arm gets most of the work. Go one more. And then from there, I want you to turn your fingers back behind you and then keep going. But when we get out here, just want you to take your ear to your opposite shoulder, so away from the hand that's on the wall, and then step back. So we step forward, feel the stretch in the arm, then take the ear over. Oh, that is so nice. And then bring it back. Let's go for 2 more of these. And one more time. All right, we're going to do one more exercise on the wall. So I want you to take the hand up a little bit higher, fingers pointed up again. And we're just going to try and take a little step across my back leg and then bring it back. So fingers up to the ceiling. It's not going to be a very big step. It's not like you're going to do a huge, great lunge. But what you should feel, maybe a bit of an increased stretch through here. Might feel a little bit awkward. You might feel like you're just kind of staying on the spot. That's absolutely fine. Let's go one more time and then we've got to swap arms, yeah? So, but hopefully that already feels really nice for your shoulders. So we're coming back to the other wall here. So what I'd like you to do, fingers start facing the ceiling and we're just going to step forward and come back for a few. Now this shoulder, for me, is always like, I'm fine. I can do whatever you like. I never get sore. I'm brilliant. But it's still nice to do. And then from there, just turning those fingers back behind you, and then we're going to step out, take the ear to the opposite shoulder. Oh, that's lovely. And then step back. This to me is like, if I ever want to save money, by not getting a massage. These are the guys that I go to, you know, they're like your everyday little neck and shoulder massage. And from there, taking the hand up, fingers up to the ceiling, and then we've got that little step and across the back leg, and then pull it back. So step and cross. Oh, that is lovely. I can feel that coming down my bicep actually. Almost more than my shoulder and my chest on this arm. You might feel it in very different places on each side. That is very normal. Let's do one more together and then we're going to move on. And relax there. Cool. Let's move on. So we're incorporating still upper body, moving the spine around, but actually a little bit bigger movements now. And also incorporating much more of the lower body. So to begin, we're going to go for a sideways lunge, which looks like this. So I step out to the side, I'm going to bend one leg, the other leg is going to stay straight, and then I'm going to step back in. So let's just do a couple of those so we're all familiar, staying on the same side. So I'm going to lunge, come back in, lunge, come back in. Okay, follow me as we do this next one. I'm going to go into my lunge, hold it for a second, then my arms are going to come up, rotate over my bent leg, and then I'm going to step back in. Same thing again, but I'm going to hold my lunge and then come up and over my opposite shoulder, whilst keeping the knee bent. So the lunge, my legs hold still. So go back, go over your first shoulder, and then come back in. And then the other shoulder, stay on the same leg, keeping it still. Just going as low as you feel comfortable going. We're going to do one more on this leg, and then we'll swap to the other leg. There we go. And then swap sides. So, holding that lunge to begin with. In fact, let's just do a couple of lunges, just to start off with. Just like to kind of tell my brain, yeah, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing. Okay, let's add the first reach. So you lunge, hold it, up and over that same shoulder, and then stepping back together, swap shoulders, hold it, and then back in. We're going to do a few more. I'm going to spend too long on each exercise, because again today it's all about variety. It's about moving each joint through as many positions as we can. So basically your brain goes, oh, okay. And you feel that little bit more flexible, like you've moved a bit of everything. Okay, moving on. Right, so next we have a rollover, Pilates rollover, I believe they're called, which is basically you're bending down to kind of try and touch your toes. Don't worry if you can't. So what you're going to do, with a straight leg if possible, roll over towards your toes. Now this is a skill that I have always been relatively naturally good at. It's not something to feel bad about if it's not a skill that you haven't been able to do. I'll be honest, I've never had to work hard for it. So from here, what we're going to do, if you are particularly uncomfortable, you can pop a little bend in the knees, but if you can, keep them straight. And then from here, getting as low as you can, I don't mind what that is, I want you to pull up so that your chest is just about parallel to the floor. And then we're going to roll back down as low as you can go. And then come up to about halfway, hold, and then roll back down. And let's go for one more. And roll back down. Okay, what I want you to do is take your hands over to one foot, and then we're going to do the same thing. So we roll up to halfway, keeping that turn in the body, and then roll on down. And again, coming on up, hold, and come on down. Let's go one more time. Up, hold, and come on down. Right, walk it over to the other side, and then from there come up, hold, and roll it on down. We've got two more. Last one coming up. And then just kind of hang around for a second, just have a little wobble, let everything relax. You might want to soften through your knees here just so you can let your back chill out, and then come on up. We've got a forward lunge now. Once again, like all of these moves, just going to a depth that you feel comfortable with today. We're not necessarily trying to go 10 out of 10 challenge today, okay? So forward lunge, and what I'm going to do here is do two reaches with my hands downwards towards the ground. So I lunge, drop in a little bit, my chest is going to pitch over and look at the floor, and I'm going to go 1, 2, like I'm trying to poke a gnome. Don't know where that came from, but alternate legs, poke the gnome, and then come back. Keep going with that. If you can think of something better than a gnome, let me know. Sometimes you think of a really good example on the spot, and sometimes you tell people to poke a gnome. It's just how it is. Anyway, last one here. Okay, we're going to keep going with those. However, As we do that, we're going to slightly change the angle. So what I'd like you to do is lunging forward still. I want you to reach down, down towards the little toe of the front leg. So I go forward, down, down towards the front toe. Keep going, little toe, sorry. Down, down towards little toe and down, down. Okay, right, on the front foot, we're going to reach down, down, inside the foot now. So whichever foot is in front, inside, inside. For some reason the gnome is now inside your front foot. So keep that going and come back. Keep the feet straight for me. And all this is going to do, if you watch my butt here, it's going to kind of make it swing out to the side a little bit, and I want you to do that. I want you to let your hips have a little bit of a wiggle, go side to side, so they get challenged in all these different positions again. It's not just going forward and back. Life is not forward and back. We need to be mobile and skilled in all different positions. Last one here. Great work. Okay. We have 2 more moves in our standing section, and we're just going to come to the ground, so not so bad. We're coming back towards the back of the legs. So what we're going to do, we'll still step forward for a little bit. I want you to step onto one leg. So I'm going to step forward here onto one leg. I'm not really going to bend my knee very much this time. I'm just going to reach down towards the ground. So I'm getting a little bit of a stretch down the back of my leg. I'm going to come back. If I can, I'm going to try and balance. So I'll show you that again. Step forward, reaching towards the ground, and come back. Now, this is what you're going to do if you feel like, no, I'm not balancing, it's not going well. You're just going to pop that back toe on the ground here, reach towards the ground, not very much bending that knee, but a little bit, and then step back. But most of that weight is forward in the front leg here. Let's go with the same leg, few more. So if you can, lifting the foot. Do not worry if you fall over a bit. That's almost inevitable at some point. And in fact, our brains learn very well from errors. So if you do have a wobble, your brain will actually learn better. So it's good. Embrace the wobble. I feel like I should get a t-shirt made of that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to step sideways. So with the same leg, step sideways, and you're just going to reach over towards your little toe of that leg that you're balancing on. Same thing as before. If you need to at all, you step sideways, and I can just pop that back toe down. Give me a little bit of balance support, as much as I need really, but I'm trying to make sure that most of the weight is in that front leg, or the balancing leg rather. Let's do one more together, and then we swap to the other side. Okay, so coming forward again, just reaching straight down, other leg. Oh, I've got my wobbly floorboard. There's one that's just a little bit dodgy. If I get that one on a balancing move, I'm a bit stuffed. Although generally this leg just feels a little bit wobbly today, which is fine. Couple more. Last time, then we're going to go sideways. Oh, hello. There we go. Fell on the last one. It happens. Right, let's go to the side. Reach the hands towards the little toe. I have a lot of clients that think every rep has to be perfect. And so when they wobble or fall out of it sooner than they want to, they're like, no, have to do it again, have to do it perfectly. Again, doesn't matter. In fact, when we're doing balancing movements, the foot is going to land a little bit differently every time. Your centre of gravity is going to be a little bit more different. We want our bodies to be able to cope with that because it helps protect us from falling on our arses, okay? The more skilled your joints are at landing in different positions. Go last one. And rest there. Okay, so our last exercise, we've got a rotating lunge. So we're not going for like the lowest lunge in the world again. I'm going to step forward and across my back leg. So I'm going to end up basically here. I call these drunken forward lunges because you basically take a step forward as if you're doing the same distance as a forward lunge. So if you just want to practice, how far would I go if I was doing a forward lunge? And then you're just going to make it a bit drunk. So it's coming forward and across. Okay, so have a couple of practices of those. And then as we do that, I'm going to get you to hold it for a second. So I hold, and then from there we're going to go rotate, rotate. As you noticed, I fell over because it's quite hard to balance. That's fine. If that happens, take a much smaller step, rotate, rotate. Okay, so good example. So if you want to go for a little bit more balance, bigger drunken lunge, rotate, rotate. If you're finding it really tricky, keep it small. You can make the rotations a bit smaller as well. Let's go for a couple more on this leg. Oh hello, that just doesn't want to play at all. Never mind. Let's go last one. And then swap to the other side. Last move and then we're on the ground. So coming forward and across, drunken lunge, rotate, rotate. It's funny, this one hated the single leg balances, but is so much happier with these. Each limb has its different skills. Sometimes they weirdly change, but generally you've got joints that are happier in certain positions and other joints that are happier in other positions. Again, perfectly normal. Last one, as much as the fitness industry likes to say it and to aim for it, we are not symmetrical. We never will be, and that is fine. Right, come onto the floor for me. If you'd like to grab yourself a cushion for your knees, that's it. From here, we're going to be doing some arm rotations. So I'm on all fours. I've got my hands underneath my armpits, knees underneath my hip bones. And what I'm going to do, I want to make sure you can see this the best you can, is take my arm underneath me. I'm going to do this front ways on actually. Underneath me, reach as far as I can, palm facing up to the ceiling, and then bring it back. Let's alternate sides. So reaching under, palm up to the ceiling. I'm pushing the back of my palm into the floor there, so I can feel a stretch through that shoulder. Actually, both shoulders, to be honest. Clearly my shoulders needed to do some moving today. And then from there, we're going to move on to some child's pose. So we're starting off, firstly, child's pose. If you start from your all fours position, so hands underneath your armpits, actually maybe a little bit further forward, maybe in front of your shoulders, you're going to sit your bum back towards your heels. Now, a little bit of a myth is that you should be able to sit all the way back. It's often called a rest position. Not everyone can. That's fine. Sometimes you need to open the knees a little bit more. Just sit back as far as you can, not a problem. And then from there, come forward. Let's do just a couple more sitting in and out of that. And then from there, what I'm going to do is take one of my hands in front of the other and then sit back towards my child's pose. So I'm going to feel a big stretch down the side of my body, and it's really, really nice. And then come forward and change to the other side. And then come forward. Keep that going. Let's do one more. Absolutely brilliant. These are kind of similar to the exercises we did right at the start on the wall, but they're just nice now because we can be on the floor. So what we're going to do, stay on all fours. I want a super wide hand for this, so I'm taking them well outside of my shoulders. So if I was kind of kneeling up here, they'd be about this wide, like I was about to give someone like a massive hug. Okay, like a, hi, that kind of position. So, super wide. And then from here, I'm going to drop one of my shoulders towards the floor. My other arm has to bend to allow this to happen. And then I'm going to come back up to the top. Let's just alternate sides. And come back up. We're going to do a few more of these. And then I reckon that's pretty cool for the day. Last two. And one more time. And rest. There. May you and your pajamas, if you're in them, be feeling very good. I myself do feel quite a bit better. If you don't, if you feel like, oh, you know what, today is just not my day, that's absolutely fine. The important thing is that you think about what you can do on those really difficult days where just things aren't going your way, whether it's a kind of stretchy workout like this, whether it's a quick just walk around the block, or I don't know, even less, just 2 minutes of a little wall stretch that we did right at the beginning. You know, whatever you can do, rather than thinking, oh my God, I can't do anything at all, this day has just been rubbish. Just do one stretch for the session, one, and then see if you can do a little bit more. If you can't, that's fine, come back another day. But basically, look after yourself, do what you can, and thank you for joining me today.